Do you have a friend who wants to know what happens to him when he gets an erection? This is a question that I have been asked thousands of times and that I am going to explain to you very easily because first of all because it generates a lot of curiosity and secondly also because if we understand how we function, it is also easy to understand what steps we may be in and many false beliefs regarding erection that when you understand how it works are broken. So let's get started. The erection occurs always start here. It starts in the coconut in the central nervous system. There is only one exception that I will explain to you later, but while we are awake when we masturbate, when we have sexual activity with our partner, or in any situation where we are awake if we have an erection, we first have to have desire. Desire occurs in two areas of the brain, and when those areas light up and are stimulated, a nerve impulse is generated. This nervous impulse goes down the spinal cord, then through the sacral plexus and connects to the penile arteries. Okay, we have one penile artery in each corpus cavernosum. By default it is closed. That's why right now I don't have an erection, because I have no desire. Okay? If I now have an erection because I have stimulation, because I remember an erotic situation or whatever, my medial preoptic nucleus and my paraventricular area of the hypothalamus will be stimulated, and that will go through these nerves that I tell you. They will order my penile artery to open. Okay? It is easy when the artery works well, blood enters the penis, and then when more blood enters the penis than leaves it, we have an erection. What happened? Many times many men ask me in consultation if I am having sex, and at a certain moment I know something happens to me or I think about something else and I lose my erection. What has happened? Basically, we have stopped stimulating our medial preoptic nucleus and paraventricular area of the hypothalamus, and when they turn off, what they have done is they have told the nerves that it was no longer necessary to have an erection, and that is why the arteries have closed. That is why when you are worried, I have explained this to you many times in other videos on the channel, when you are worried, when you are aware of other things, or when you have performance anxiety. One of the things that will happen is that you can have a more or less good erection, but at a certain point you lose it. The reason is because this area of the brain stops being stimulated and therefore we lose the erection. The other time we enter the REM phase, which is one of the phases of sleep, we have an erection. All healthy men get an erection every time we enter REM phase, which is about 4 or 6 times each night. When we get up at night or in the morning and wake up with an erection, it means that we have woken up in the REM phase. Why is this super important? Because what the REM phase does not do is take into account the entire anxiety, worry, stimulus part. Simply, when we have an erection in the REM phase, it means that the entire automatic part, the entire nervous neurological part and the vascular part work. When I never wake up erect for a month, 2 months, 3 months, it is very possible that this means that there is something wrong. I have explained the more or less automatic part to you, but then there is a part that is completely personal. That is to say, what I have explained to you, all men in the world function the same. It's something that we operate like that, in quotes, on autopilot. And you and I, anyone you know, follows more or less the same steps and has the same problems. The most individual part is the part that exists before desire. That is to say, you may like some things that I may not like. A situation may seem erotic to me that does not seem that way to you. And that makes you and I possibly have a different sexuality. That's neither right nor wrong. Each of us functions in a different way, but the important thing is to understand that there is a very individual, very personal part of how we function, what we like, what makes us tick. And then there is an automatic part in which we all function the same. Something that is more difficult for us, and I repeat myself, is to understand that sometimes we have a good choice and other times a bad one. And it is precisely because of desire. If, for example, I am having relationships and I have desire, but at a certain moment I start thinking about the tax return. In a problem I have had in the operating room. In anything else, instead of being focused on my partner, my desire will be somewhere else. What is going to happen? My penis, well, I'm telling you that I no longer need an erection because instead of thinking about my wife, I'm thinking about the Minister of Finance. So what's going to happen is that I'm going to lose my erection. This may seem like a slightly strange example to you. Think about it this way. If instead of thinking about your partner you are thinking about your erection, how will I be today? I'm going to lose my erection and it seems like it's a little worse now. Instead of focusing your attention on something that seems erotic to you, you are putting it on something that is not erotic because your erection or how you are going to be today is something that, on the contrary, generates anxiety and that can make you lose your erection. Okay, this is the reason why some men have good erections sometimes and bad ones at other times, which is performance anxiety and desire. I hope you found the video useful. I think I have clarified many doubts, so please like and subscribe. Do you know that in I Have a Friend we have other videos on urology and sexual medicine, and I leave you links of interest in the description. Finally, if you have any questions, really ask for help because you can really improve. There are a lot of professionals who can help you, but we can't help you through the YouTube box because we simply can't respond to everyone, nor is it the site. But seek help because what is happening to you can really be improved. Bye, thanks.